It's kind of a weird thing if we think about it, but these days people tend to know where we are and are able to contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We won't debate the pros and cons of that here. Just acknowledge that it is what it is these days. Technology, of course, has played a pivotal role in that. One of the latest comers to the stage is the concept of online status. I suppose the concept of online status probably started mostly back in the early 1990s with internet sites like America Online or AOL, which were then followed by chat or messaging programs like Messenger and Skype. And now, of course, we see it almost everywhere, including as an integral part of the Microsoft Office suite with Lync and Outlook. It's become ever more important, I suppose, because we don't work right next to the people that we work with anymore. We now have to communicate with people who may be a city, a country, or even half a world away, and given time differences and time zone differences, as well as differing work schedules, it's really hard just to know when people might be available or not. SharePoint includes the ability to leave status updates to help with this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not the same automated type of status indicator that we get with things like Lync, where it will say busy if we have a meeting scheduled in Outlook, or it'll say away if we haven't touched our system for a certain amount of time. Instead, this is something that we can use to leave messages for others, but it's not automated. It is another option that we have from our newsfeed, however. So, the first step is to make sure that we can see our newsfeed. In order to do that, you need to come into your My Site, and then on the left-hand side of the screen, go ahead and click or tap the newsfeed link. At the very top center of the page, you'll see an area that says, Share with everyone, start a conversation. This is where we create our updates. All we have to do is click and type. So let's have Michael leave a quick status update. We'll click first, which erases the Start a Conversation default text, and we'll have Michael type something in. If it's relevant, or if you're so inclined to rub it in a little bit if you're somewhere nice, there is this little camera icon on the lower bottom left corner of this box. Clicking here allows you to upload a picture along with your post, which can be kind of nice, or like I said, kind of cruel depending on exactly what kind of picture you're uploading and how much fun you're having. Regardless of whether you use a picture or not, when you get your message entered, you simply click or tap Post on the bottom right to make that post. It gets added to your newsfeed and is now available for anyone who wants to see it. Well, we can certainly see the post that we just made is in our own newsfeed, and it even tells us when it was posted. We can like things here, we can reply to them, there are different options that we can do. But here's the real question. We certainly want to update people on our status, but how can we see the status of other people? If we think about it just a little, we'll remember that these are newsfeed features that we've been looking at, and they revolve around following people. So to see the status of someone else, we need to be following them, and we need to review their posts. Once again, we start in the newsfeed, but this time we need to click the number of the people we're following on the right-hand side of the screen. This gets us to the detailed list. So I'll move to the right, and in this case, we'll click on the number 2. If you're not already in this section, start by clicking on Newsfeed on the left, and then move over to the right-hand side under the I'm Following section and click on the number. This will display the detailed list of everybody you're following. If you want to look at the status of a particular person, you can hover over their name, and on the right-hand side of the screen, click or tap on the little ellipsis that will give you different options. You don't really have to do anything more from here. The flyout menu will give you their name one more time, and it will also give you a list of all of their postings in reverse chronological order. In other words, the most recent one first. So in this case, it says, Aaron will be on podium all day teaching SharePoint off-site. Please send me a text if it's important, and I'll respond as soon as I can, but probably not until a break or lunch or after class at the end of the day. Again, it tells how long ago that was posted, and it also allows you to see other posts so that you can follow kind of the thread of conversation if that's important to what you're doing. That means if I want to find out where my team is, I can simply come into this one screen, hover over the ellipsis for each of them, and see any of the status updates that they've posted. Now, I'll be honest, I kind of vacillate a little on how much or how useful I personally find this to be. I guess in some ways I'm still an old dog getting used to a new trick of setting status messages. It depends on what I'm doing, really, how useful I find it. I do a lot of work by myself, and during those times, I don't use it much, of course. During times when I'm doing instructional design for a company or doing a long-term training project for a company, I tend to use it more. Why? Because my formal office is in Boise, Idaho, and if my clients are in a different city, which they always are, then it's helpful for me to let them know if I'm in my office or not for a particular day or maybe even a few days at a time. Likewise, I sometimes need to be able to see if they are in their office. Sure, a similar thing could be done by picking up the phone or sending an email or a text, but this allows me to post once, and everyone who may have access to my SharePoint sites and profile can see my status. I don't have to send out multiple individual messages. I don't have to clog up people's inboxes or their text either. I don't even have to worry about missing someone. Now, it's not the only choice, but it is a choice, and it may be a choice that works well for you and your team. If you're one of those millennials or others who have wholeheartedly embraced social networking, then you may leave status updates and check on them to your heart's content using SharePoint now. What you now know is that status updates are really just posts made by users. They are not automatically created or updated in SharePoint like they are in Lync and other messaging programs. By creating a status update once and posting it, anyone who wants to look can see your current status. You can see others' updates by viewing them as someone that you follow from your My Sites newsfeed page.